Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between human spirits and demonic spirits. So, human spirits are basically the spirits of people that have learned how to project their spiritual energy through their spiritual knowledge, and they project their spiritual energy into either a place, into a living being, or into an object. And it is done for the purpose of, first of all, being able to be in multiple places at once, and also to be able to control their host, the person they're taking possession of. And this is done in various ways. Those that are in the occult that practice levitation, practice astral projection, they know about this spiritual knowledge and the ability of human beings to actually do this. When you project your like spiritual energy into a place, is like projecting, it's similar to projections of your consciousness into somebody else. It is taking possession of another person's will, their emotions, and everything to do with them in order to enforce and superimpose your own kind of dictates and mandates. And it is a practice that is done by those in the occult, but it is also done casually without really realizing that that is what you're into. For Christians, I have come across in some experiences of places where when you're crossing them, you feel a certain kind of energy, almost like a perfume in the atmosphere. Obviously, it's not something you smell physically, but spiritually, when you're sensitive, it works as maybe somebody passing through a room, and after they've passed, all that is left of their passing through that specific place is their perfume still lingering in the atmosphere. That's how you're able to tell. You're like, okay, this thing either went through here or is still operating within this space. That is how it operates, except it takes possession of a person and it stays in order to dictate and obviously kill, steal, and destroy, because this is not what God intended for us. Getting deliverance from a human spirit is a specialized field, is a specific thing that you have to go through. Okay, so a spiritual energy can also be likened to a person's aura. Those that are in the new age beliefs, they tell you of how when you meet a person, they have a specific aura around them. It is actually the spiritual signature of that person, sort of like the frequency of a specific sound. We all vibrate at different frequencies. So God and his word, it has its own frequency, which is a frequency that is above every other frequencies and that is able to take dominion over all of them because he is the most high God, the all powerful God. So that is human spirits. Now, demonic spirits are disembodied spirits that are of a rebellious nature and that are looking for a person to inhabit in order to advance Satan's agenda against mankind. And the way that they do this is by working in unison with the spirit of lust. Remember in the Garden of Eden, how as Satan was talking, she saw that the fruit was good to look at. That is in essence his deception, so the spirit of deception in that moment working together with the spirit of lust to get her to come into agreement by exploiting a specific need within human nature, and thus conducting her and making her feel like, okay, I'm going to satisfy this desire that I have, but by illegal means, so by means that God specifically said not to do. So in doing that, those spirits can now possess a body because the body has transgressed. So it has come out of the covering of the Lord, and therefore they now have legal right to remain in that body and say, okay, we can occupy this house because it has violated the rules of its maker, its manufacturer. We can come in and add in a different software for it to run on. That is demonic, basically, spirits and their activities in terms of possession. In both cases, it is an illegal possession of a human being, which is something you shouldn't do. One is performed by demonic entities, and they do that in groups. You have the man in the Bible that was possessed by a demon that was essence called Legion. So they were about 6,000. They work in unison, they work in concert. And the more they are within a person, the harder it is in terms of for us as human beings to be able to free that person from their hold. But that's how they operate. However, human spirits, that is performed by people themselves, because as created beings, created in the image of the Lord, he has given us power. We have power that we're not necessarily conscious of that we use. So God has given us power, and He's given us power through our words. And what we use them to say basically dictates what happens in our sphere of existence. A human being can be possessed by another human being, and a demonic spirit can, in essence, try to take over another person, a person's body. Okay, one is already with a body, and the other is searching for a body to possess. Those are the differences. Okay, with that being said, till next time, bye.